Is content going vertical? That's a lot of people are asking this. As you guys see, a lot of streamers are going vertical, a lot of content is going vertical. The main question is, how are vertical streams taking over and why? I am Retroyuki, and today let's take a look at the vertical shift. So here's what you're going to be learning today: the rise of vertical content and vertical streams, how TikTok influenced this phenomenon, my experiment on vertical streaming, the latest stream had to report where TikTok actually gets on the board for the first time, and will it translate to something next year? All right. And at the end, I want you in the comment section to answer three questions that I have for you based on this topic. Let's get started with how the rise of TikTok and influence and vertical content, because they go hand in hand. So it started when TikTok started to take off in the form of 1 minute videos, which is the short form content, with with of course recent updates allowing 3 minutes. Now keep in mind that before TikTok started, there was something called Vine, which is its own platform, but because Vine shut down, TikTok basically took over. Then YouTube started to do this with push out from short form content called YouTube Shorts, which is up to 1 minute originally, and then they started updating to make it 3 minutes. And now you can stream vertically too. And you're seeing that on my channel. Then Twitch is starting to pull up into the whole vertical game. With an upcoming update, Twitch is planning to roll out dual layout, where streamers can stream vertical and horizontal at the same time. But keep in mind that it's currently in the closed beta, and I don't think I got invited. And then Kick, the new platform, Kick, the green one, has allowed vertical content, and they won't take away anything from your revenue other than the 5% that was already in play. Creators earn 95.5. We'll talk about Kick on another presentation. Now I want you guys to take a look at it for yourselves based on some examples from my own channel, this channel, Retroyuki Gaming slash Retroyuki, at the time, and how vertical was affected by this area. So let's take a look at question one, or scenario one. The stream title was a Yuki Takeru World Series VR chat birthday. I know it's very long, but it had a ring to it at the time. No pun intended. The date was October 25th, 2025. What happened? My friends and I celebrated my birthday in VR chat, while I also celebrated the Dodgers making it to the World Series. So obviously, in October, World Series, the ball game, and we're talking about it. We're having fun. We're celebrating my birthday. That was game two, by the way. Which version did better? That's the main question of the day. Not the Dodgers ruined baseball. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is vertical by about 3x. The vertical version at 74 views did 3 times better in terms of views than horizontal version 26. A regular 545 stream might have done even more numbers. This stream was done at an odd time at 10:15. Obviously the game. Then I wanted to celebrate my birthday, and then I wanted to play with you guys. 74 to 26. That's nearly 3 times better. Okay? By the way, VR chat content is on Retroyuki VR, the channel, on YouTube and Kick. Second scenario. The title of this stream was Pre-Birthday One-Shot Snipers Battles in Fortnite. This was when we did the custom game on October 24. So what happened here? As a special event, my buds and I battled it out in a custom one-shot snipers game in Fortnite to celebrate the first 15 minutes of my birthday. At the end of the stream, We played a few rounds of Blitz Royale to get birthday dubs and good luck for the rest of the Fortnite season in terms of our content, which runs until December 17. The question is, which one did better, vertical or horizontal? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is vertical. And it was a blowout. No shot, no pun intended. This was a massive blowout, 100 to 219, by the way, on the vertical side. 5 times more than vertical than horizontal. Horizontal had no shot, not even one shot. Fortnite comes back to the main channel, Retro Yuki Gaming, today. This Friday, by the way. Yeah, 100 to 19. Yeah, it's 5 times more plus 1, basically. How about this one? Question 3, scenario 3. Stream title: The Meltdown Continues, Mario Meltdown Part 2. The date of September 15, 2025. What happened? This is the second part of the game, by the way. That is a ROM hack for Super Mario 64. So, obviously it's Mario. So, what happened? What version did better? This is the one case the horizontal did better. The one case. It was a very close game though. Horizontal did 88, vertical did 54. This is a very rare case where the horizontal did better. Okay? And remember, this was at a time where I kept everything on the main channel before doing the whole Retro Yuki 2.0 stuff. Now it's coming back to the main channel and on Kick today. We have a stream today for another Mario Adventure Part 2. On TikTok too. Interestingly enough, we're talking about TikTok as well. So in those 3 scenarios, let's talk about it by the numbers. 2 out of the 3 where the vertical version outdid the horizontal version, and the numbers were not even close, other than the last one. 228 to 133 with a difference of 95. There was a 95 view difference between vertical and horizontal when taking into account the sample size of 3. 6 versus 1. That is the dislike and like ratio on horizontal streams based on the sample size. And actually it was both 6 to 1, so not bad. And all 3 vertical streams did way better than 50 views, which is the sum of 150 if it was all 50, would be more than the sum of all 3 horizontal views of 133. What about indie games though? Because I haven't talked about it yet. And here we go. The big graph that is based on a sample size of 19 at the time. Now, when you're looking at this graph, do keep in mind of the note. This only accounts for streams done from September 1st through the 19th, where I had both versions, a vertical and a horizontal of the same stream. The title could have been different, but it's the same game. Okay? It has to be the same game, the same setup, but different layout. I also combine Mario in the Music Box in the Mario category, and I also combine the indie games and the Spooky Yuki event. So that's why the indie game and Spooky Yuki came into the bottom half there. But as you guys can see, no matter how you slice it, the vertical streams outdid the horizontal streams on all 3 categories. And the indie games with the combination of Spooky Yuki event did way better than all the streams combined. When taking into account that it's 550, about 550 views right there. There is a sample size of 19 streams with a total of 1,620 views. And another thing I decided to take a look at was who watched me based on the studio analytics. And the mobile phone is 44.8% at the time. Computer is 47.6%. And other devices is at 7.6% at a time. at that particular period. I will be updating this again very soon for the to keep a look at October to see if anything changed. Now let's talk about the unknowns for now. So let's talk about the first unknown. What happens in November when content goes on their own channels? We saw a bit of it in Mario, where all the Mario stuff did not work out on the Mario channel. It looks like that's gonna be staying a content channel. VR chat on RetroYuki VR actually would have done second place. It would have been better. The problem was something happened in that stream. I'm not gonna talk about it, so I decided not to count it. So we're gonna have to wait until this Thursday, tomorrow, to see what happens in that particular test. Then we have Fortnite. Fortnite did horrible on its new channel, so I brought it back to this channel. How horrible? Fortnite only got 3 vertical views. And it actually did better than the horizontal version on that same channel, because the horizontal version did 0. So it's still a win for vertical, even if it was 3. Then the second unknown is under the new stuff of RetroYuki 2.0. Can VR chat compete at least vertically in terms of an audience with a VR chat focus? That is RetroYuki VR. Constantly gets third to last place when ranked compared to all other content on the main channel. So far, had it counted, it would have done second place. So at that particular juncture, yes. Okay. The third one is, will indie games continue the domination on the main channel? And the answer right now is yes. In fact, here's the updated numbers based on my graph. The vertical streams currently have 277 views versus horizontal total at the month of November at 45. And Mario and indie games are carrying. I was thinking it was gonna be Fortnite, but Mario, I had that hunch it was gonna happen, and indie games totally did. Mario and indie games vertical had 274 views compared to Fortnite at 3. Now again, that was because it was on the Yuki Night channel, and it might do better on my main channel, RetroYuki Gaming. All of this in November, and I'm going to tell you this, for this week of vertical streaming, I predicted and I projected 110 views. We just started the week on Monday, and we already have 77 for the Mario ROM hack. So I don't think it's a surprise that we're going to eclipse 110. Then we have this. We have the new thing, TikTok, but on Stream Hatchet. So yes, I will continue to cover the Stream Hatchet reports. I love reading these. In fact, that is the first time TikTok actually had a section for a Stream Hatchet report. For the first time. So this is in quarter 3 of 2025. So this covers up until, I believe, October. No, excuse me, September, excuse me. This is the first time TikTok has been mentioned and had data via Stream Hatchet report. This is based on hours watched. TikTok has 9.1 billion hours of watch time, mostly on vertical. And there is horizontal now, but I'm going to tell you, I think most of this numbers is vertical. Okay? But it might be horizontal depending on what game it is. The popular content right now on TikTok, when it comes to this particular report, obviously, Garena, Free Fire, and Roblox, where both of these games are based on regional preferences and a younger audience on YouTube and TikTok. So there you go. There is the TikTok on Stream Hatchet. That is the first time it has appeared on that particular report. The question is, what does it look like for 2026, next year? Let's take a look at what I'm predicting. Vertical viewership will rise by about 10.7%. And I have three contributing factors. The first one is TikTok streams itself, which makes sense because duh. Okay? The second one is based on the upcoming update to Twitch, which allows you to do the vertical streaming called dual layout. The beta is actually ongoing now, but it's closed, so you have to sign up for it. But if this comes into fruition very soon, I'm gonna test it with Mario Maker because I do it with Mario Maker for Twitch on Saturdays. YouTube short streams start to get popular. I have a feeling that in 2026 more people are gonna take advantage of YouTube short streams where you stream vertically. And again, this all comes back to one particular video from Big E, who talked about streamers need to stream here on YouTube and TikTok. The next point I have is horizontal content to get attention. I still think horizontal content still has a place here on YouTube, but it's selected niches where they explain a topic. This could be a tutorial, a guide, etc. Then we have the second one, sports and gaming news in selected months and seasons. So what I mean by this is, believe it or not, I already announced it, that gaming news is coming back here on this channel. I just want to present it in a different way. And I got inspired by the channel called Brody Brazil, who talks about sports. So what I mean by this, sports and gaming news in selected seasons. So sports is all year round, right? Like 24/7, there's a sporting event. But the main four are like the NFL and NHL, the NBA, and the MLB. Baseball is done in terms of the season, but that doesn't mean there won't be news about baseball. We already had the big one involving Cleveland Guardians and what's going on in Cleveland. Then when it comes to gaming news, you have the Tokyo Game Show. You have the Sonic Expo, if you guys want me to cover that. We also have the Nintendo stuff. We have the indie games. We have the Summer Game Fest. So if there's a certain time that gaming news gets popular. Now, there's one important question you might be asking. What about us? What about us in terms of RetroYuki 2.0? More attention to vertical? VR chat going RP? Excuse me. VR chat RP going vertical, question mark. And our tutorials going vertical. The only current real test right now is 3 videos of Mario Maker content. But they have a combined 3,500 views here on YouTube right now. At least on the main channel. Or on the Mario channel, excuse me. The question is, will that be the trend? Or is this just a fad where it's based on current algorithmic approaches? And now it is your turn. Here is my segment of questions of the day. I want you guys to answer these in the comment section with your own words based on your feelings. What is your take on vertical streaming away from my channel? So I gave you my take. I said it was going to take over. The question is, what is your take? Away from my channel and away from anything about like who does the same topic. It's your own opinion. Do you think vertical streaming is the new YouTube? What I mean by this, do you think based on what you have seen or based on what you have heard, do you think it's the new YouTube? Is YouTube going vertical, or is this just or is this just a trend that's happening because everybody's doing it? And the final question of the day, are my stats something that you get inspired by? What I mean by that is this. Does this inspire you in any way to try out vertical streaming or vertical content based on this graph or this part of the Stream Hatchet report? Now remember, the Stream Hatchet report is based on all platforms, including TikTok. This is based on my channel, based on a sample size of 19. Now remember, that sample size has grown. So this is only based on until October 19. But, as the question says, do my stats that I just showed you inspire you to try out vertical streaming or vertical content? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want me to cover a certain topic about gaming, let me know it also below. That is it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like, hit that follow, hit that share. And hopefully you learned something today. Next time, we will be talking about greed. As content creators, we'll be talking about that particular topic very soon. Enjoy and enjoy the Retro Yugi 2.0 Discord server coming later today.